Alright, hey guys, welcome to another episode of games I bought recently. Got a stack of games here in no particular order, so let's get started. First up is Marvel vs. Capcom 3 for the Xbox 360. I have to say, this game really is not for me. The first day I picked it up, I did play it for a couple of hours. I was, streaming it live, people were watching me, and I was having some fun with it. But I came to the realization that I'm never going to get good at this game, To play online competitively, you have to practice this game, you have to learn your characters, you have to learn the combos and the skills, just like other fighting games. But while it does have, a sort of, I guess, easy learning curve for new players like myself, where, combos and, their super combos are on a one-button press, you press the one button and the screen just fills up with craziness. It's just something that will take a lot of practice if I see myself playing this a month from now, which I really do not. Would I recommend this to people that are fans of fighting games? Absolutely. It's gorgeous to look at. The animation and the graphics are just unbelievable. There's a lot of fan service in here. There's some questionable characters that are missing from the roster. The campaign, the single-player mode with the story, which is almost non-existent, consists of just two little static screens after you finish the game with any character. It's kind of lacking in that department. It's really made for online, which, if you're a fan of competitive fighting games, I'd still recommend this, but for me, not really for me. Next up is Bulletstorm, the Epic Edition, which, not quite sure what that entails. Probably it comes with the Gears of War beta, I don't know. I just started this game the other day. I have to say I am absolutely blown away by Bulletstorm. This game is amazing. It's so much better than I thought it would be, because previously all I had checked out were the initial trailer that they released long ago, and I played the demo. But the single player in this is absolutely mind-blowing. The environments and the graphics in this are just beautiful. I was so surprised by how well crafted this world is. I have to warn you though, if you are kind of younger and your parents don't really know that you're playing M-rated games, you're just convincing them now to let you play M-rated games, do not pick up Bulletstorm, because this game is very mature with its content in terms of the language that's in this game. A lot of cursing and a lot of really crazy stuff in here. It might be a little bit too over the top at times, but I guess that's just the game's charm. What it comes down to though is it's a crazy first-person shooter where you have a bullet time where basically when you kick an enemy or when you lash onto them with your electric whip and you pull them towards you, it goes into a bullet time and it's up to you to kind of kill them in the craziest way possible. So the more crazy that you can make the kill, the more points you get. You use those points to upgrade your weapons, buy more ammo, and just go on from there. You're sort of on this, I guess, different planet with monsters and aliens and mutant people and all kinds of stuff. I'm a couple of hours into it right now. I heard it's pretty short, which I really don't mind. And there's also an online co-op mode where you can play with other players and try and rack up the craziest kills and the craziest scores together. Highly recommend this one, guys. Definitely check out Bulletstorm. I'm looking forward to finishing that soon. I also got Killzone 3 for the PlayStation 3 on the same day, so I have not had too much time to play this. I've only jumped online. Once again, I have not tried the campaign in this. I did play the beta, so I kind of had an idea of what I was getting into. This is a class-based first-person shooter. I'm a pretty big fan of class-based first-person shooters because I like taking on the role of a certain class online. So far I've been playing as the Infiltrator, which is sort of the spy, where you can disguise as the enemy, sneak up behind enemy lines and kill them. There's, medics, there's heavy gunners, there's snipers, there's tacticians to kind of tell everybody where to spawn and everything. New stuff that they've added to it are mechs. There's a lot more maps. There's different weapons. The graphics seem like they're pretty improved. It's a lot more colorful than Killzone 2. Best thing about it though, they got rid of the input lag. Any of you that played Killzone 2, you'd kind of know that the weapons had a lot of weight to them. And you try and move around and look around and it seemed kind of weighty and laggy kind of. They've totally done away with it, so it does feel a bit more like standard first-person shooters in that aspect. It looks beautiful. It plays pretty well. I haven't had a lot of time to spend with it, but so far I'm enjoying it. Next up, I have to give a big thank you to Ball and Nick 1982. I've been trying to get a copy of Dead Space for the longest time, and now that I finally, are on the lookout for it, because I want to play Dead Space 2, I want to try and get myself back into this horror survival genre and everything. I could not find this game at all in my area, so Ball and Nick 1982 hooked me up with a copy, so thank you very much, Nick. I have to say I'm really enjoying it. So far, everything I've played of the game, I've live streamed, which, by the way, I'll put a link to my live stream thing below if you guys don't know what I'm talking about. I play games, you can watch me live and stuff, and you have to follow me to get updated, but whatever. Dead Space is an amazing game. I'm so happy I picked it up. I really cannot think of a single bad thing to say about this game. Everything it does well. Maybe one thing. they try to do the shock scares a little bit too much. They never ease off of, you know, monsters jumping out of windows and monsters jumping out from behind corners and all that stuff. It's kind of a little bit overkill at times where it takes away from the scariness of it because it happens so much. I love the shadows in this game. The graphics are amazing. You walk into a big open room and you can see the shadow of a monster like right next to you, but meanwhile they're a mile away across the room. You know, it's just excellent graphics. The detail to the monsters and the environments is also really well. I just found myself stopping a lot and just checking out the details. So far it's not overly hard for me. I'm playing on normal mode. What I really like the most though is upgrading my weapons. Upgrading that, what is it, the weapon that shoots out the discs and you chop off the enemies' bodies and everything. And it's just so much fun to upgrade my weapons, and I'm having a really fun time with this so far. Maybe Dead Space and, you know, will be the game to get me back into the whole survival horror kind of genre. Thanks to Amnesia: The Dark Descent on the PC for kind of giving me the edge to go for that. Next up is Darksiders on the 360. I'm almost finished with this, and I have to say I'm really enjoying this one as well. Really surprised by this. I actually tried the demo, which was on the OnLive service, and that made me pick up the game. Comparisons to Zelda, I definitely can see why people can compare this to Zelda in terms of the dungeons. It's an third-person action adventure game with, you know, pretty standard combat. You start off with just one button press to kind of do all your combos, and from there you get new moves, you unlock new moves. The world is semi-open-ended. I say that in that you're sort of always on a linear path. It always tells you where to go, but you can backtrack when you get new abilities to basically go back and get stuff that you missed, where, say, you needed a hook shot to get to a certain area in the beginning of the game, and later on, when you unlock the hook shot, you can go back and get the item that's there. Chests that contain items that extend your health bar and your mana bar, so you can kind of see the comparisons to the standard, I guess you can say, Zelda formula. I don't really want to compare it to Zelda, honestly, because it does feel at times like it borrows elements from a lot of games, but it is its own game. Art style is excellent. The voice acting in this and the cutscenes are top-notch. The dungeons are a lot of fun. They take like an hour, 2 hours to beat, and I'm just really impressed with it. I have to say, if you're a fan of action-adventure games or hack-and-slash games, check out Darksiders. Gotta finish that soon. Next up, I bought Battle Fantasia. It's a fighting game, anime style, on the Xbox 360. I have not had a chance to play this one yet, but I got it for like $8, so hopefully it's pretty good. Also, Shiring the Wanderer on the Wii. This is one I've wanted for a long time, and I was waiting for it to kind of drop in price, so I was able to get it for $20, which was about the price I was willing to pay. This is a roguelike RPG, which I have played the one on the Nintendo DS, and I did kind of enjoy it. It's one of those games where, yes, you die and you lose all your levels and your items and everything like that. The Wii version, though, they did add an optional difficulty mode, so if you do die, you don't lose your levels. So there is an option in there for those of you that are kind of scared of that to try this out. Check out Shiring the Wanderer. I'm looking forward to playing that. Okay, Little Big Planet 2 on the PlayStation 3. I have to admit, yes, I have not played this as much as I should have. I've just been so busy trying to go back and play games from 2010 that I wanted to play and I never got around to, that I just haven't had time for Little Big Planet 2. I have played it once, though. I went online with some friends, we did some co-op, and it was pretty fun, checking out the levels all over again, you know, seeing all the new tools that people can create their levels with. I really can't wait to spend more time with this one. I just haven't really had a chance. I did get the Collector's Edition, but hey, it seems like more of Little Big Planet 1, but now just with different gameplay elements, and what can I say? I originally said back in, what was it, 2009 or whatever, that I didn't think there would be another Little Big Planet game, but look what happened. There was another Little Big Planet game. I didn't think they could do it, but they sure as heck did. Great development team there, Media Molecule. Next is Nier, the Xbox 360. I beat this game, and I was thoroughly impressed with it. I have to say, I went into this with very low expectations, because I heard a lot of bad stuff about this game. But I did hear a lot of stuff from RPG fans that said, you have to check this game out. It's one of my favorite games of all time, and I'm like, okay, there's got to be something to this game that I'm, you know, missing out on. I really should try this one. Basically what this game is, it's a third-person action RPG. Basically it plays sort of like a beat-em-up. It's in its own sort of surreal, unique world. Some of the characters and the story are very unique in their own. It's sort of a game that really warrants a second playthrough to kind of get all the story elements, which I have not done. I've only done the first playthrough. So basically the story boils down to, in the simplest terms, there's shades, which are these shadow-type creatures that are invading the world of Nier. And your daughter gets infected and you have to go and try and find a cure for her. And things unravel, and, you know, of course, there's other branches in the story that happen to kind of mix things up. And one thing I have to say about the story in this game, and in terms of the gameplay, unfortunately, for most people, I enjoyed the first 8 hours, but for most people, this game doesn't really start to get good until the halfway point, or a little past the halfway point in the game, where basically it almost turns into a totally different game, where you get different weapons that you were not able to use in the first half of the game. The story really takes like a sort of different dramatic turn to it. A lot more of the action starts happening in the second half of the game. But basically you have these different shadow powers where you can level up your shadow abilities. So some of them are like a lance that you can throw at the enemies. Some of them are twirling lances that can fly around you. And some of them are sort of like a bullet shoot-'em-up kind of game. So what I found most striking about Nier is how it plays in different game genres. So at times, it'll be like a third-person isometric dungeon crawler. Other times, it's like an actual shoot-'em-up. I'm talking like you're shooting bullets at enemies and you're going down a predetermined path and it's a shoot-'em-up. Other times, it's a text adventure game where there's no visuals, it's just text and you're selecting different options. Nier is a crazy and a strange game. Definitely try this one out. I got it for like $10, $11, so I got it for a really cheap price. If you see Nier and you're a fan of action games, RPGs, or just quirky games in general, a light bulb just went out, but hey, I gotta continue. I guess my world is going into the shade world here. Check out Nier. I was very impressed with Nier.